The Little Orange Book was produced in 2016 following evidence that a number of parents and carers were presenting to their GP practice with common ailments in children aged 0 to 5 that could be managed at home with local advice and guidance. Local research showed that attendance at A&E for these problems could be reduced by almost half if parents and carers had access to better, clearer information that they could refer to. We worked with colleagues in secondary care, primary care, health visiting, and with parents and carers to create a document that outlined common acute illnesses, how to manage them at home, how long to keep your child off school or nursery, and when to seek further help from the local GP or urgent care services. The topics are labelled with symbols to help people find the information, and there is a simple green, amber, red colour guide to indicate the severity of each condition. The Little Orange Book is available as hard copy that is given out to all new parents by either their midwife, health visitor or GP. It has also been shared with accident and emergency services, and professionals have been encouraged to share the book with parents and carers presenting to urgent care services. It is also available online. The book has also been shared with primary schools across Newcastle and Gateshead, and schools have been encouraged to use the book as a reference guide when children fall ill throughout the school day. The Child Health and Wellbeing Network covers the North East and North Cumbria and has a specific remit to share good practice. It played an important role in supporting the introduction and circulation of the Little Orange Book through its large network of members and incorporated it into its Healthier Together website. Having seen the value of the book to families, we hope that the network can also support it being shared beyond Newcastle and Gateshead in the future.
Parents and carers are encouraged to refer to the contents of the book, which provides them with advice and guidance on how to manage common ailments and when to seek further help from healthcare professionals. However, if a parent or carer is still unsure about their child's symptoms, then please do contact your GP or 111 in the first instance.
You can obtain a copy of the latest version of the book from your GP practice, health visitor, midwife, your local A&E department and from children and family hubs. The Little Orange Book is also available online on both the Newcastle and Gateshead local office and the Healthier Together website.
Hello, welcome to this short film which is going to tell you about an evaluation of the Little Orange Book which we carried out in 2022.
The evaluation was funded by the North East and North Cumbria Child Health and Wellbeing Network, the Newcastle and Gateshead Clinical Commissioning Group with the primary grant holders, and commissioned us, the research team, via Ask Views.
We would like to thank the parents and carers who took the time to participate in this evaluation, because without you, this film and report would not have been possible.
We are now going to tell you a little bit about how we conducted the evaluation. We invited parents and carers in the region to fill out an online survey which asked them about their experiences. What we wanted to know from the survey was whether parents and carers had received the Little Orange Book and whether they had used it and why. We also interviewed parents and carers to understand their views and experiences in more depth. We publicised the opportunity to take part using a number of different approaches. This film briefly tells you about what those parents and carers have shared with us. In total, 128 parents and carers completed this survey and 16 parents and carers were interviewed.
Here's what we found. Most of the parents and carers told us that they received the Little Orange Book at an appointment with a health professional, such as a midwife, health visitor, or their GP. Some people were given a really helpful explanation of what the Little Orange Book was for and how to use it. And others didn't receive any information at all.
For example, here's what Penelope had to say. Like I say, it was just within the hospital pack. So it was literally handed to me and that was it. Obviously, when I did go through the pack, I did find it useful, but there was no explanation or subsequent explanation other than being given the pack.
What was interesting was that we were told that some people had been offered the Little Orange Book more than once. whereas others hadn't been offered it at all. We also found that the Little Orange Book was used more widely because it had been shared by people who had used it and found it really helpful.
One survey participant said, "I love it and give it to every friend who has a new baby, posting it to those elsewhere. It's simple and helpful."
Most people in the study who were first-time parents found it difficult to know what to do when their child was ill, and so they found the Little Orange Book really helpful. For those who had more than one child, they told us that they were actually more confident in knowing what to do to help their child when they were unwell. However, some people who had a large age gap between children felt that they were first-time parents again. The Little Orange Book helped parents and carers to identify what might be causing symptoms. For example, imagine your child's got a rash. Well, you could actually look at pictures in the Little Orange Book, which would help you to understand what it might be and, importantly, what to do next. Most parents told us that this made them feel much more confident in making decisions about their child's health, along with using their own judgment and intuition.
Wilma said, "I like that there's pictures of various rashes or, ailments that they're describing, because that's sort of what you're looking for as a parent." Bella said, "And there are some pictures of different examples of rashes, but there's hardly any pictures compared to the ones on the website."
When you're a parent of a child who's unwell, sometimes it's difficult to know where your child needs to go and where to go and get help for your child. One of the key values of the Little Orange Book was that people told us they were less likely to use emergency services when they didn't need to, and instead used services such as pharmacies and their GP. Because the Little Orange Book was created by health professionals, most people felt that it was a reliable and trustworthy source of information. We received a lot of positive feedback about the design of the Little Orange Book. In particular, parents found the traffic light system helpful, as the red, amber and green colours helped people to quickly see whether their child needed urgent medical attention or whether they could monitor their child at home. Tabs were also found to be helpful to quickly navigate through the information in an emergency.
Some parents and carers felt that the images within the Little Orange Book could be more inclusive.
One survey respondent reported, "Wouldn't recommend for dark-skinned babies. Can be life-threatening. For example, meningitis is not red spots on a dark-skinned baby." Jane, an interview participant, said, "I suppose one thing just to be, I know this is an overall problem. All of the babies are white in here."
Some preferred digital copies, while others preferred a paper copy. We wanted to know what people thought about the design and the content of the book.
One survey respondent said, "I forgot about it. We moved house and it got put in a box. Would love to have a digital copy or an app so I don't risk losing it." Rebecca, an interview participant, explained her feelings about her preference for a hard copy of the Little Orange Book. Norrie said, "If it's through an app, it's more accessible for someone, and then as well, both parents could have the app on the phone. And even grandparents could have the app on the phone if grandparents were looking after little ones who became unwell." In her interview, Wilma said that she benefited from the use of a contents page to know where to find the information. Also, she felt the information was concise and relevant, and that the book was of a handy size. In her interview, Bella said, "I wouldn't like to see the book being too bulky, if I'm honest, because it's a quick reference guide, and I think that's what it should be used for. But I do think there could be a little bit more context to it." One survey respondent said, "It was a quick reference guide with succinct information, better than using the internet."
When I was poorly, I felt hot and I had lots of spots. The spots kept coming. We looked at the pictures and masses and spots in the little book, and we didn't know what it was. My mummy told me, after looking at the pictures, I might have chickenpox. My mummy looked at a chart and it had a smiley face and a sad face. Had colours like traffic lights. She pointed out I have a green smiley face, so I didn't need to go to the hospital. I didn't need to go in the ambulance. I didn't need to doctor. We went to the pharmacy so they could help us. Mummy said I couldn't go to school this week, that we can play together at home. It's really useful to help our grown-ups to know what to do when we are poorly.
I felt really worried at first, but the book gave me some reassurance. I didn't realise that they didn't recommend ibuprofen until I read the book. I told my friends about it too, and we just kept checking the book to make sure nothing had changed.
So, based on the findings that we've presented, here are our recommendations. The first recommendation is to make sure that every parent and carer in Newcastle and Gateshead is able to access the Little Orange Book. So we recommend that awareness of the book is raised and that midwives and health visitors provide people with the Little Orange Book, making sure that priority is given to first-time parents or those who have a large age gap between their children.
To improve the awareness of the Little Orange Book, it is important that all professionals in healthcare services and education are kept updated to signpost parents and carers to the resource.
We recommend that when professionals give out the Little Orange Book, they also give an explanation about what it is and how to use it. Professionals should also give a reminder that the Little Orange Book is to support rather than replace parental instinct and judgment.
When creating future copies of the Little Orange Book, it would be helpful to include a version number, year, publication, and a disclaimer to note that the information was correct at the time of publication. It is important to ensure that the content remains up to date, with professionals notified when changes are made.
We strongly recommend that the visual content continues, particularly the traffic light system. The images are really valuable, but future editions could be more inclusive and diverse. One of the strengths of the Little Orange Book is that it's a quick reference guide. So adding greater detail to the hard copy should be treated with caution. However, an online version may provide the opportunity to cover topics in more depth if needed.
Because the Little Orange Book was a new initiative, it was important that we carried out an evaluation to understand whether it was helpful and to identify areas for improvement. The first evaluation of the Little Orange Book was carried out in 2018 and included the views of health professionals across different services and parents and carers in Newcastle and Gateshead. The evaluation showed that professionals and parents were highly supportive of the Little Orange Book. Key findings indicated it was helpful in increasing the understanding of common childhood illnesses, helping parents and carers make informed decisions about when self-care is appropriate and when to seek further advice from health professionals and services such as A&E. The second evaluation, which is the focus of this film, aimed to build on the previous findings and also to explore the role of the Little Orange Book during the COVID-19 pandemic. Evaluation study was carried out independently and built on the previous one. The aim was to understand parent and carer views of the Little Orange Book since its introduction. The finding of this evaluation have been outlined in this film and will be used to continue to improve the Little Orange Book, ensuring it's widely available and more inclusive, particularly in relation to photographs to show conditions such as rashes, to better include individuals of minority ethnic origin. Future evaluations would be helpful to try to understand in more detail how the Little Orange Book has influenced the use of health services. We look forward to seeing its ongoing progress to ultimately help more children, families and communities.